Welcome to the Embrace Strength podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Crocker. I am an experienced trainer and active life professional. I work with people who are struggling with nagging pain to get back to the activities they love without fear of re-injury. This podcast is here to educate and provide value to you on all things health, fitness, staying active, and personal development. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to today's pod. So I had an epiphany this morning, and you're going to think this is funny, but other business owners will understand. I feel like I'm continually learning about myself and how to best structure my week based on the things I've got going on, the projects, my workflow, the way my brain works, etc. And last week, when you're listening to this, it'll be later than last week, but last week I started my weekly recap podcast episodes that I'm recording on Fridays. And then this morning I was thinking about, okay, how can I make it easier to get my other podcast episodes recorded? And on Mondays, I don't have any calls on Mondays. Mondays is a really heavy client work day. And my Tuesday through Thursday is I typically have meetings and stuff. And so I have previously been trying to do podcast episodes Tuesday through Thursday. And it just has not been working. I've been running out of time. And so I was like, I should record my other podcast episode on Mondays. So this is what I'm doing now. I'm recording an episode on Mondays and Fridays. My Fridays will be kind of like a real-time episode, and then my Mondays are going to be pre-recorded. But as long as I can stay ahead with the pre-recordings, I'm going to be doing pretty good. So I'm excited about figuring that out. Yeah, so that's not what I'm here to talk about today, though. I am here to talk about an exciting thing that I have coming at the end of April. So I am starting to do some 3-day mini programs, okay? And I have them planned out for the rest of 2025. But what I'm here to talk about today is the one that is coming up the soonest at the end of April. When you're listening to this, that will be in a few weeks. It is all about back pain, and it's about coaching clients through back pain. Actually, the official name of it is Coaching Clients Through Back Pain, the playbook you never got certified in. And I am so obsessed with that name. I am so excited about it because that's exactly what it is. See, as coaches, when we go through, your initial certification, you don't really learn too much about mobility issues or pain, and certainly not back pain. And when you're going through it as a new coach, you're you don't even think twice about it. Then you start working with real humans, and you get into working with people who have had back injuries or knee injuries, and you're like, wait a second, I didn't learn about how to work with somebody like this. There's actually so much information out there on back pain that is helpful for coaches to know about, but not a lot of coaches know about it. And back pain is one of the most common things that Americans deal with. And I believe that if you are a coach coaching human beings who live lives, you need to know about back pain. If you're programming exercise for a human being, you need to know about back pain, because look, even if no clients on your roster have back pain now, if you stick with this for a few more years, you are going to come across a client who is dealing with back pain right now, or has a history of back pain, and that is causing them to move certain ways when they exercise. Or you might have somebody who has a tweak in their back while they're working with you, and they go to a doctor, and then they get super freaked out by what the doctor said, because maybe they got imaging done and they heard the words like bulging disc or bone on bone and like all these scary terms. And as a coach, you need to know about those things so you can talk your client off the ledge, because let me tell you, the doctors do not talk your clients off of ledges. They do not. They do like the opposite of that. Okay. And so obviously I'm very passionate about educating coaches on this topic because I found it to be a real game changer, and I am able to help so many more people now that I have this knowledge, and I have gotten dozens of people out of back pain. And these are people who came to me saying things like, I've tried everything else except for surgery. This is my last resort. I have tried physical therapy and it hasn't worked before. I don't know what to do. I'm only in my 20s and I can't believe I am dealing with back pain. Like, I do not want to deal with this. And so I have real world experience working with these types of clients, not just the education to back it up. So that is a little bit about the mini program that is coming soon. And so here is what it's going to entail. All right. I'm just going to give you a little bit of info, right? So like I was saying, most coaches have no idea how to safely coach clients through back pain, and their solution is typically avoiding movements. Let me tell you, avoidance is not the answer, especially with back pain. Learning how to modify and strengthen is. In this mini program, I'm going to give you the exact strategies on how to do this with confidence with your clients. We are going to talk through some medical talk that as coaches you should know about, because if you have a client who goes to the doctor with a complaint of back pain and they get imaging, they might hear some of these terms and it's going to freak them out, and it's your job to talk about the ledge. So I'm going to talk about some of these things. I am going to talk about the difference between disc herniation and disc bulge. We're going to talk about imaging. We're going to talk about degenerative disc disease and a couple of other things regarding this, but this is super important and will be very helpful for you when you do come across that client that is dealing with back pain. They've been to the doctor and they have, kind of this list of terms that the doctor told them, right? And lastly, you are going to learn about how you don't have to completely avoid full movement patterns. You don't have to avoid things like hinging and squatting. You need the right regressions for your client that is dealing with back pain. And that is super important, because what makes me the most annoyed, I think, about this topic of back pain and coaches just not knowing how to deal with it is like if a coach takes out hinging completely. Because what I have seen in my coaching business is clients who come to me who have been dealing with back pain for a while and they're not even doing any hinging at all. And guess what? In order to get stronger, you have to be able to bend over. Like, you have to train bending over, which is what hinging is. And so if you are coaching a client dealing with back pain and you're not having them hinge to a level that is comfortable for them, when they bend over in real life, they're going to have a flare up. And I think a lot of coaches don't really think about that. It's like, think about how much you bend over in real life and what's like required to do that. And in order to be able to do these things like bend over and pick up the laundry basket or pick up a heavy bag of dog food, like, you need to be strong in that movement pattern. Like, you need to be trained in that area if you don't want to have a flare up just by picking up a bag of dog food. And so I am really excited to do this mini program. I have not seen anything out there like this, and it's going to be awesome. So if you are listening to this and you're like, I want in on the mini program, listen up, because for this week only, so April 7th to the 11th, the mini program is going to be $97, and this is the cheapest that it's going to be. And I don't know if I said this is a 3-day mini program, basically. And the program is going to be held in an app called Telegram. So you'll be able to listen or watch the trainings on your own time. And so, yeah, April 7th through 11th, the mini program is $97. And then it's going to go up in price every week. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I know I want to learn about this, then I will put the link in the show notes. But you can also send me a DM on Instagram that says mini, and we can chat more there if you have questions. And then I am also going to have a bundle option for the bundle, like bonus, I guess, you can grab is we're going to do a live call case study breakdown. So what that is like we'll have a live call where you guys hop on and we're going to work through a case study together. So an example of a client that comes to you with back pain, how would you approach working with them? We're going to work through the case studies, a case study together. And whenever I do case studies with coaches, they're like, oh my gosh, this was so helpful, because you know what? It helps you see live, what does this look like in real life, right? You're not just learning just to learn, you're learning and then also applying. And it's really great practice for what things might look like in real life. And the case studies that I do are all past clients that I have worked with, kept anonymous, obviously. But the point is, when I do case studies, they are with clients who I have actually worked with, gotten results. So if you want to also add on that case study bonus, that's an extra $97. But if you just want the 3-day mini program, $97 flat. Alrighty, that is it. Link in the show notes if you are interested in grabbing the mini program. And if you have questions first or whatever, send me a DM on Instagram that says mini and we can chat there. All right, talk to you next week.